Hey, good morning. It's day three of the Goddess 12-day challenge. Day 3. Woo! How are you? How are you? How are you? So happy to see you this morning. Grab your little tea, grab your little pen and paper. We've got some work to do. We're on day 3, changing our reactions. So go ahead, tag your friends, sign on. Let me know, did you do yesterday's challenge? Did you do yesterday's challenge? Oops, back. I want to know. I want to know how you're doing. Okay, this is sharing the video, letting everybody know we're on. Just getting this video shared. Please take a moment, check in, share the video, let me know you're here. Say good morning. Sharing this on my public wall too. There, all shared. Share it away. There we go. Morning. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Susan. I see you typing in, not coming up on my computer. On my phone, it's coming up on my computer. How are you, loves? How you doing? Can you hear me okay? Do I need the headset? Day 3. So today we're going to talk all about the power. We're going to talk about the difference between power and being empowered. Empowerment and power. We're going to talk about those things. Who's got the power? Here's a good question for you as you're signing on. What does power mean to you? What does it mean to be in power for you? Hi, Alyssa. How are you? And why am I not seeing comments? Do I have to turn this on? No. It's weird how I'm not seeing comments on here. How do I get rid of that? Oh, now I see. Morning. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Marianne. It's crazy how it wasn't coming up on the phone, but now it is. Let me know you're here. Say good morning. So we're going to talk about those. Today's number 3. So it's all about changing our reactions. Your powerhouse, what you actually have control over. Who out here, who has an issue with maybe being in control of energy, of always trying to manage things and make things work out for them to their best ability? Maybe you have a little bit of organizational skills, maybe a little bit of OCD, right? Michael, good morning. Power is faith and power is consistency. Yes. Yep. And power can, we take power not always being a good thing, right? People in power that have the power, we might feel uncomfortable around that. Or if we're in power, we might take that and kind of like use it against people, you know? I hold the power. So in relationships, there's the ego that stands in between the two people a lot of times. Nope, I go with the flow, Susan. Of course you do. Of course you do. So the struggle can be, in any relationship is I want to be heard, I want to be seen, and if somebody's not understanding me, I might have to defend myself. So our reaction might be in a situation where we're yelling or our body language is sulking, or we might be emotional, we might cry, we might not be able to get our words out. Good morning, Karina. So I'd like you to think about the one way you react to somebody really close to you. Are you feisty? Do you get angry easy? Are you able to get to a resolve easy? Just curious. I want to know where you're at and how that is for you. Are you one that needs to defend yourself, or do you lock yourself away and become more of an introvert because it's uncomfortable? Just talking about power versus empowerment. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you on this beautiful day 3. So Susan, tell me about that though. Like, I want to know, are you a reactive person? How about that? Who's reactive? Who is reactive? So for me, I definitely would go to a defending role. That was how I was in my relationships. I would feel like I had to defend my belief system or defend what I knew to be true. Always like rearing that voice, and would get all worked up when people didn't understand what I was trying to say, and I felt very judged. So that feeling just led me to be more defensive. I could feel people's energy come in, and I would think, oh well, they don't like me. And you sensitive souls out there, you know what I'm talking about. So you get that energy in, and you don't know what to do with it, and so automatically it goes to a wound, it goes to a pain point. And so that pain point, we talked about this yesterday about the self-love and what we're mirroring out. It continues, it goes on and on and on until we understand what we actually have control over, which is not changing anybody else's belief system, not getting all angry and rearing that, unsettledness within us, or putting that out into the world, or trying to prove our point, right? And I love that Mary Kay Good, I've been trying to pray more, right? That's the point, is that we give a little bit of a pause. That's the number one thing when we start to change our reactions and we start to look at our side of the relationship. Our side of, why do things keep happening? Like, why do we have the same type of friends or the same type of issues come forward? So we can look at our own self. We can look at our side of the street, right? Take a deep breath before reaction hits hard. Right, Alyssa? Beautiful. And Susan's saying, I used to react, but now I'm realized life is so short. And so that pause is so important. I love that you add the breath in there, Alyssa, because that definitely helps to calm that responsive energy down. So no matter what relationship we're talking about, whether it's romantic, a friendship, mother-daughter, with your whomever relationships, if we are finding ourselves being very reactive, or finding ourselves saying, oh, I wish that person didn't do this, and we're carrying that energy around with us, and we're thinking about it, and we're like cutting people out of our lives, then pause is a really important thing. And that's the number one thing. So stop the pause before you react. So the cue in is take a breath. Like Alyssa said, you take a breath, you hold it. That's your pause. Then you do your ask. Your ask is, you're asking your angels, you're asking the divine, you're asking your intuitive voice to rise up out of the feelings that you're picking up and why you're wanting to react. So you're asking, what should I do about this? Is it meant for me to take this personally? Is it meant for me to respond to this? And how do I best respond? So you ask, and it can be done very quickly as long as you take that pause and you're in your body. And the third thing is you pray. You pray for the highest vibration of love to come through you, that you deliver whatever you're going to say with the highest tone that you can. So we're always speaking from the I point of view when we're changing our reactions. We're not saying you need to change, you need to do this, rather we're saying, my feelings, for me, this is how it felt. And you serve this, I call that my husband calling in, the silver platter effect. So anything that you're going to say is going to be on this silver platter. And anybody that has seen a silver platter or received something off a silver platter, it's going to be fancy. It's going to be really nice. It's going to be good. So you're serving that whatever that reaction is, whatever it is, on a silver platter. If you're angry, you're stopping, you're asking, you're praying. And not that you don't have a right to be angry, but don't let that rule your reactions, right? That's when you're empowered. That's empowerment, right? It's not about power taking everything or, taking yourself out of the situation to prove your point or pointing fingers or saying you. The empowerment is, this is uncomfortable for me at this moment and I need a minute. Or I kind of have to walk away because I'm really angry and I need to get into my calm. That's the way we do that. It's really amazing. Changes everything up. Christine's saying she taught herself to relax and meditate, close her eyes, and let things that bother her leave her mind. That's awesome. Cheryl's saying, yes, it's good to regroup. It really is, right? It really is. Michael says, I want to say, you make me feel this. It's my cue to turn around. So maybe rather than you make me feel this, and I got this from my therapist and I love this, is I feel this way. I'm going to need a minute. So it's not about the you, it's rather about the I. So I need to take a moment because that's not sitting right with me. It just gives a little bit of pause, right? So the reaction, all reaction is either love-based or fear-based, right? It's that simple, love or fear. So the fear-based reaction is going to be, you need to change, you hurt me, and we're reactive. That's our reaction. The love point of view is, I need to pause for a minute. That really triggered something inside of me, and I'm not feeling comfortable. So I don't think I can continue with this conversation. I'm finding myself getting angry. It's all about the I, right? Because now what you've done is you've removed yourself from a drama. You've removed yourself from this cyclone, right? So you take that breath, right? Take that pause. Pause. So stop, drop, and pray. That was my saying. Stop, drop, and pray, because you're stopping. You're doing your ask. You're praying. You're asking to be in the highest vibration of you, because this is what's important. This is all about you. It's not about the other person. It's about you. And who wants to be empowered and be in their true, authentic self and use their voice and smile and be able to deliver something like, you hurt me. This is a really uncomfortable situation. I feel like I have to take a walk away. Who wouldn't feel better about doing that than maybe being like, you're an effing this and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, just curious. Who? It's really, really, when we take this changing our reactions seriously and we start looking at the way we react to all things, well, it really starts to illuminate where we can choose love. And this is not about you beating yourself up or getting angry or being like, why do I keep doing this? This is rather you being empowered and saying, right, I'm recognizing this and now I can shift it, right? That's the cue in, that we have control over our reactions. That's what we get to do, choose love. Nancy said it's sometimes hard to do when you're in the moment. It really is. So that's why we stop and we pray. And when we get in the routine of praying all day long and turning to God and over and over and over, it gets much easier to do when you're in that kind of a situation. Do you need a hug? I love that, Jen. Right? Nice. That's a good pause. That's a really great pause. So think about one reaction that you normally do, whether it's a self-inflicted reaction. So maybe you're kind of, talking smack to yourself. You didn't do the exercise yesterday. Or maybe that there's a significant other, somebody that you are constantly coming up and butting heads with. What is your normal reaction? Let me hear it. I want to see. I want to know. I want you to be honest. I was, for me, I was an instant taking the energy and then judging it instantly. And so I would judge that energy coming to me, and so I automatically would judge other people, not realizing that's what I was doing. So it really created a victim type of mentality that I was living in, right? Because everybody else must be wrong. And that wasn't empowerment. I was thinking everybody else was wrong. Rather, I was able to shift my own view of me, take that energy that I was feeling, sit with it, love it, and feel like, all right, if that person is judging me, that's on them. I don't have to take that personally. So I was consistently taking things personally and then being defensive over them. Make sense? So I want you to tie it in. Where is it for you? We're human, right? So that's your homework today. Your homework. Normal reactions. Yeah, defense. I love that. Victim, avoidance, right. Good. Calling it out. This is where you get the power from, because now when those things pop up inside of you and you get defensive, all of a sudden you can say, wait a minute, I can choose love. I don't have to take this personally. I don't have to defend. I can just pray. Walking away and praying does a lot. It gives space. It gives love. It clears the energy so that when you show up and you speak from the I point of view, it comes out much clearer and it's heard, and it can be, you're serving on that silver platter. It can be heard as if it's love, and you're not in charge if it's being received or not. You just know that you stood in love and you did the best that you could do, right? Jen, just because you're a sensitive soul and you feel energy, right? And so automatically we assign what we're feeling to a negative. So pause. Michael saying, yes, victim mentality and avoidance. That's a big one, and it's a big call out, Michael. You should be really proud of yourself. So when it shows up, you can look at it and say, wait a minute, I get to choose. I'm not going to do that. Facing people who are abusing. Again, so I love that you're saying this, Michael. And rather than saying you can't do that to me, how about I'm no longer that person and it's uncomfortable to be here and I'm not going to allow this, right? Changing the you back into your power. Being powerful gets you out of that. Empowerment gets you out of the victim role. It's a really cool thing. And like I said, I'm still working on it. Because when I meet with my therapist, she's like, oh yeah, remember, do it this way. All about the I. Don't go to the you. I'm like, okay, this is it's so powerful. And it's just a learned behavior, right? So we're just reprogramming and relearning. And that's where you gain that power back. And so I know a lot of you have had, trauma, big trauma, childhood trauma, big trauma in life. So when these negative things fester inside of us, we lose our power to them, right? Because that becomes the pain point. And all we want to do is be validated for that pain. Once we are, it starts to diminish. It starts to go away, and we start to have that love in there. I find it very useful when something replays a pattern and I remember a story or remember an event, a pain moment, and I see myself being that small person, however old I was, and I welcome myself back in. So the situation, rather than you or here, which keeps me in the victim role, is the storyline around what the person did to me, rather than, oh, look, taking to myself, we made it. We're not there anymore. We're not that little girl. And we're safe. We're safe. So that experience is over and we don't have to stay in it any longer. And stop looking outside at the other person or the situation that caused the pain point, rather taking that young self back in and becoming whole. Because we leave like pieces of ourselves in those past stories, right? Does that make sense? That's kind of a mind-blowing thing, and I'm giving to you really quickly, just so you can see where your power is, right? So changing your reaction. So your homework today, your homework is to go through your day and to stop, drop, and pray as often as you can in the moment. Catch yourself. Just notice, am I being empowered? Is this an empowered thought? Is it a love thought? Is this me trying to wield the power of ego, schmigo, trying to hold on to the victim mentality, the defense mentality, the anger mentality, the, I got to prove it, whatever that looks like for you. Okay? I want you to be empowered. I want you to take your power in and wield it in the most loving, brilliant way, because that's why you're here. That's why you're here. Yeah, I love that, Grace. I got you. I've got you. Right? Pull her in, hug her up. That's all she needs is love, right? She just wants to be remembered. Those parts of yourself that are in those moments, that are in those storylines, those Lifetime movies that we replay, bring it back in. Because it's gone. That past is gone. It's never coming back. Thank you. And you've learned and you've grown and you've shifted. And even if there's still more forgiveness that's needed, that's all right. You're doing it. You're doing a good job. You're doing a great job. That's all we want to hear, right? That you're loved and you're doing a good job. I know you're doing the best you can do. So continue doing that. Continue showing up. Do the challenge. Let me know how you make out. I love to hear. And I hope you have a brilliant day. God bless you guys.